Hello and welcome. My name is Evgeny Rusakov and you're watching TVP World interview from Vilnius. Internet literacy is improving year after year, but according to national privacy test results, it is still under a big question mark. Cyber threats, weak passwords and elementary human carelessness do their bad work. To discuss these issues, we are joined today by the online risk management expert at NordVPN, Justina Tamulevičiūtė. Hello, Justina, and thank you for joining us today.
Hello, thank you for having me.
So, first of all, could you please shed more light on this national privacy test? What is it about?
Yes, so this national privacy test is a test designed for a worldwide population to actually do the test and evaluate their own cybersecurity knowledge. So the test consists of 22 questions and basically consists of three main parts. So you can evaluate your own digital habits, your privacy awareness, and also how well do you recognize cybersecurity threats and do you know how well to act if you spot one of them. So this year, from the results, we noticed that, well, actually, the results are declining year to year.
Declining?
Declining, unfortunately.
Okay.
So last year, the average score for this test was 61 out of 100, and this year we do have 58.
Okay.
With the best country this year was Singapore with 62 points average.
62 points.
Yes, followed by Lithuania and Germany, which had 61 points.
Okay, so how come we live in the, well, let's put it that way, in the internet era, we live for like 30 years, let's put it that way. How come we still get that kind of results?
Yes, so it's a great question, but I guess the main thing is that the overall digital life is getting more and more complex. Technologies are growing every single day, and people just struggle to keep up with it. We did notice that some of the questions, in particular, did show an increasing results. For example, people were pretty well aware how to act if they see some suspicious ways where they can purchase streaming services for a very low price. People were really, I think we scored 95% was the average score out of worldwide population, that they recognize correctly how to act in those cases. Also, people were aware what to do if the browser asked them to save credit card information, that they answered that they would not do that in particular cases. So there were some promising, answers. The results were overall mixed, but on the other hand, one of the troubling results were regarding AI tool usage, especially in a workplace environment.
We'll come back to that for sure. We'll come back to that. Yeah, please go on.
So yes, that was definitely one of the most worrying questions that we saw the response.
How come retired people and students are among those that passed this test like very badly? I can understand retired people, but how come students?
So I guess what we can see that the lack of knowledge for young people could probably be traced due to the lack of formal education regarding cybersecurity. But also, there's also this constant social pressure to be online, constant pressure to try the new thing, keep up with the technology, whatever their friends are using, and also, lack of risk awareness and basically taking a lot of risk and trying the new app, the new thing. So, and a lot of overconfidence as well, just taking, the easy way out and just trying it out.
So, participants of your survey best knew how to create strong passwords, but for some reasons, people still tend to choose ridiculously weakest passwords like QWERTY or just the simplest numerical order. So, how would you explain that?
Mm-hmm. Well, that is one good thing, that we definitely saw that people can recognize what is a strong password and they are able to choose it. However, other research results do show that they still use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 admin passwords.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous it is. And well, basically usually just try to take also the easy way out. They prioritize their convenience over security. And usually people think that they are not interesting. They think that no one will target them because what do I have to hide? We do see this tendency a lot, and people don't really understand how easy these kind of passwords are actually to crack and to get that information that you have in your account. Also, sometimes people think, oh, there's nothing important in this specific account. Why do I have to protect it with extra steps or strong password that I will not remember? So at the end of the day, that is what draws people to take the easy way.
Okay, here's the question then. I sometimes I have to fill in the new password, and the system offers me the password that it created itself. How safe is it to choose that kind of password?
Well, I would not recommend it specifically. It's usually, the computer has the other program built in. For example, in your browser, there probably might be a password manager. So it's not an ideal way until you actually check the security of that specific tool that you're using. I cannot speculate, what kind of that specific tool is. You cannot be sure that it's actually a trustworthy password keeper, password manager.
Okay. Just 6% of participants gave correct answers about privacy issues to consider when using AI for work. So what are those privacy issues and how important are they?
Yes, well, AI is a new topic also in this test as well. And it's quite worrisome, but people don't really understand how much AI can do for bad guys as well, not only for us. So we can already see that AI helps make phishing emails way more legitimate. So for example, if previously you would always advise a person to check for spelling mistakes, grammar mistakes in the email, AI can fix that in minutes and seconds, basically,
okay,
and make it quite legitimate. Doesn't matter which language you use. So AI can, make the phishing attacks way more believable. They can generate deepfakes, the videos, actually make the voice recordings of someone else and make it very legitimate. They can enhance malware. So it's also limitless possibilities what AI can do and make those attacks way more dangerous to spot and way more dangerous, to even tackle as a cybersecurity expert.
It's just the middle of our interview, but I have to ask you this. Can I feel safe today in the cyber world?
You definitely have to be cautious. There's always emerging new technology, which always has some risks involved. And quite often when we develop things, we don't think about security and privacy as much as, making a new feature, making it better. Not everybody is actually doing that. So you have to be cautious and have to take your security into your own hands. Can you use internet safely? Of course, there are some tools which everybody can use and should use if they want to be safe, but there's always risks involved.
Brilliant. So, okay, let's move on. Another interesting topic in this survey was about how to secure home Wi-Fi network. So people nowadays use loads of stuff. I myself do that as well. And loads of stuff that is connected to their home Wi-Fi networks. So what are the risks that people should be aware of? And what are the risks of connecting to public Wi-Fi networks?
Yes, so Wi-Fi is also interesting and important topic. So when it comes to your personal Wi-Fi, you have to make sure that your structure, your router, your Wi-Fi router specifically is safe and secure. Make sure that you're using a strong password. That's very important so that nobody else can actually interfere into your network. People also quite often underestimate the also associated devices with your router and home network, because a lot of smart devices might have also some security vulnerabilities that you cannot really...
What are those security vulnerabilities? What do you mean? Just by, if someone gets into my, let's say, vacuum cleaner, which I connect with an application or something like that, so that means that someone could get into my Wi-Fi network. Do I get you right?
Basically, if one of the devices connected into your network has a vulnerability, there is a possibility that person can get into your network as well. So everything that is connected. When it comes to public Wi-Fi network, there are even more risks, because you're not in control of the router that you're connecting to. So you cannot be sure that there is something not going on with that specific router. So in general, I would suggest to avoid doing that, but if you're doing that, you cannot avoid it and actually need to use a public Wi-Fi, use a VPN to protect your traffic.
Only 1 in 4 people in the world have an idea of online tools that protect digital privacy. Now, what is this one about?
Yes, so that question in particular had quite a few tools that you can use to protect your privacy online. And we saw that people cannot really identify what they could be used for. One of the examples is what I just mentioned, VPN, to protect your internet traffic from interference. But also one of the questions was regarding messenger apps with end-to-end encryption. People could not identify that this is possibly, a good tool to use in order to protect your online privacy. Also, one of the questions had Tor browser for safe surfing online, incognito mode when you're browsing.
Okay.
So that
does that work, by the way, incognito mode?
It does not.
Is it secure?
Well, once again, I cannot give you 100% guarantee, but it does what it states, that at least your browser history is not being saved.
If I trust the ones that produce the system and the computer, so I guess I'll literally have to rely on their honest word. Am I right?
That is true.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, so in 2023, just 40% knew how cyber criminals make fake URLs look legitimate. So this number has changed a bit in 2024, but still doesn't look very promising, just 45%. So what's your take on this?
Well, recognizing a good URL or suspicious URL is very important. It's one of the most important steps in the phishing attacks. So it's good that this number is increasing, but there's still a gap of knowledge, definitely.
I mean, every other one. So it's just, I know you don't know. Let's put it that way. Yeah, that's
exactly, right. Exactly. So it's very important to spread the knowledge that URLs could bring a lot of risks. So it is very important, to take notice. What are you pressing on? What is the context? Can you trust the sender, even in messages, not only in emails, but wherever? To look at the link, check it, make sure, especially be careful with short links where you cannot really see where it's going to be redirected. And there's also online tools where you can check the URL in question and make sure that maybe it was already reported as malicious one, so to feel a bit safer. And if at the end of the day you press on the URL and it asks for any personal information, it has to be, you have to be very cautious and not to put anything like, for example, your credit card details or your financial information, or even just basic your email and other personal information.
Even my email?
Well, if you do not trust the sender, yes. Or if you're not sure where this link is coming from, 100%.
My last question, briefly. How in general would you evaluate simple users' knowledge about basic cybersecurity threats, and are we doing good?
Well, the results are a bit mixed. So there were some topics that definitely increased, which is very good news. As I mentioned, people knew how to recognize illegitimate resellers that are selling reused accounts, for example, and they knew that they shouldn't save credit card information in their browsers. However, some results, lead something to be desired. So as I mentioned, one of the worst results that we had regarding artificial intelligence usage and understanding how that data could be used later on. Nobody really could definitely tell you what's happening after that. And also there were some, results that could also be increased.
Do I get you right? When using an internet, we should always remember to be cautious and not to leave any vulnerable information anywhere where we don't really feel trust.
Exactly. Be cautious. Don't leave your information. Check where that information is being used particularly. Always make sure that your apps, your phone is up to date, running on the latest version. There's no vulnerabilities. And just keep your cybersecurity knowledge current. Read the news. And keep up with the upcoming technology, not just blindly use it and install every single app which some friend recommends.
A very, very big thank you that you came here today and told us this really very important information. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
And I would like to remind our viewers that our guest for today was an online risk management expert at NordVPN, Justina Tamulevičiūtė. You're watching TVP World. Stay with us.